Good afternoon, we're live on the Trade Decorator Festival, and this afternoon we're joined by Ted Elliott from Gyproc, who's going to be joining us for a live Q&A. First of all, we're going to have a demonstration on the Gyproc Plasterboard Patches, which are used for repairing holes in plasterboard. We'll be taking a look at the Gyproc Easy Filler 20 powder filler, which is the recommended filler for use with the patches. But for those of you that prefer convenience, we'll also be taking a look at the Gyproc Easy Filler, which is a ready mixed multi-purpose filler. So before we go on to the demonstration, just to show you around Crowdcast, down the right hand side you'll see the comments box. Feel free to comment. We do have a button beneath which says ask a question. If you could refrain from putting any questions in this part of the session, as we won't see them when we go to the live Q&A. Now, when the demonstration finishes, a big red button will display in the middle of the screen. Please don't press that, because you'll see a replay of everything you've just watched. You will be able to rewatch this and all other shows on our website if you want to, which is trade-decorator.co.uk, or on the Trade Decorator YouTube channel. Without any further delay, we're going to take a look at the Gyproc Plasterboard Patches demonstration.
Here we have a hole in the wall that requires a repair. Now, there's lots of different ways of repairing that hole. However, my preferred option would be to use Gyproc Plasterboard Patches for a quick and easy fix. The only preparation required is just remove any loose bits and give it a quick sand. In the 12 pack there are 2 small patches, ideal for small holes, 5 medium size, ideal for a single socket or a downlighter, and 5 large ones, ideal for a double socket. In this situation, I'm going to be using a medium sized patch. What I like about these self-adhesive patches is you simply just peel off the back sheet and stick to the wall. So I've mixed up some Easy Fill 20 because it's perfect for use with these patches, simply because we can get another coat on after about 30 odd minutes. Start by applying the filler, working it into the holes of the patch towards the edge. Now we've covered the patch, we need to feather out the edges to create a smooth, seamless finish. Now we're going to leave this to set for about 30 minutes. Now that the first coat is set, all we need to do is give it a light sand before we apply the second coat. When applying the second coat, ensure that you go 50mm beyond the first coat. Now the Gyproc Plasterboard Patch has had 2 coats of Easy Fill 20 and is dry, we can just give it a light sand to leave a perfectly smooth finish. Here we have a wall with a deep hole. The ideal product to fill this type of hole would be Gyproc Easy Fill 20. The reason why this is so good is because it's a powdered product that sets in about 25 minutes, allowing you then to give you a second coat after approximately 35 minutes. Preparation for this type of hole is simply just brushing away any loose material with a brush before dampening with a damp cloth to help with adhesion. Simply pour some of the powder into the water and give it a stir. Now we're ready to apply the filler. To apply the product, start from the middle and work towards the edges. Working the product into the side of the hole before striking off any excess. Now that's the hole filled, you just leave it to dry before giving it a very light sand. The great thing about this product is It's got low shrinkage, it doesn't crack, and it's ideal for those small snagging jobs. Here we find a situation where we're decorating a room. We've removed some wallpaper, and underneath we found that we've got a series of cracks. The best way to repair these cracks would be to use a multi-purpose filler like Gyproc Easy Filler Ready Mix. First part of the preparation would be to scrape out the crack. We do this to allow more depth for the filler, which gives a stronger repair. Now we need to take out the brush and remove any loose debris from inside the crack and the surrounding area. So the final part of the preparation is to run a damp cloth down the line of the crack. Give the product a quick stir, because sometimes it can settle, and then we're ready to go. Apply the filler to the crack. It's quick, convenient and easy to use. Now that the Gyproc Easy Filler is dry, it just requires a light sand.
Hi everyone, I'm glad that you've all joined us for the Q&A. As you can see, Ted Elliott's here from Gyproc, ready to take your questions. I have got a few people that are here in the session. I'm sure that there's things that you want to ask Ted. Ted, where would I use the patches?
Well, patches can be used on holes, various ways of covering up holes, like a door handle, or even a light switch, sockets, or you can even have a downlighter. I used to be an electrician many years ago, and I wish these products were around back then, because I used to get asked so many times to move the light switch and the lighting, and obviously this would have been a really quick and easy way of repairing the holes that was left behind. So.
And how quick of a fix are they?
Well, again, it depends on what product you're using with it. So the patch itself is self-adhesive, but obviously you need to cover it. So you saw there in the demos that I was using a powdered product called Easy Fill 20. And now what that does is obviously sets in around about 20 to 30 minutes. And once it's set, you can then apply another coat over the top. So, you know, probably within an hour, you would have had 2 coats on it. It just needs then to dry before it's sanded and then painted.
Okay. If anybody would like to come up on screen and speak directly to Ted, if you want to just say in the comments box that you'll come up, I'll bring you up on the screen. If not, if you'd like to hit the ask a question box, type your question in and I'll read it out for you. I can see we've got a question here from Mark, and he's asking Ted, what was the drying time on the ready mixed multi-purpose filler?
So again, that is really dependent on the atmospheric conditions. So if you're working in a house with the heating on, it's going to be a lot quicker than what it would be if you're out on site with no heating. So generally what we say is it dries overnight, but again, it will depend on that background. So if the background's really porous, it's going to suck out the moisture from the background. A warm atmosphere is going to suck out the moisture from the front, so therefore it will dry a lot quicker that way.
Okay. Going back to the patches, how well do they stick? How strong's the adhesive?
So it's a little bit like if anybody's ever used fibre tape, it's obviously a thin mesh, which is where the glue is stuck on the back. There's also glue on the back of the aluminium strip as well. So once you pushed it into place, generally they stay there. They're not going to peel off again or anything else like that. So they're not super tacky, but they're strong enough therefore to hold it in place.
Okay, and we've got a question from Claire Alamantilles saying, what sort of price are we looking at for the patches, please?
That's a really good question. I'm a technical guy, not a sales guy. But yeah, I should imagine you're looking around about £10 a pack, maybe a little bit more.
Okay. And does the metal bend or damage easily?
So you do have to be careful. Yes, it's best to keep them in the packaging, and obviously if you can keep that packaging away from all the other tools and everything else that are going chucked in the back of the van. But yes, they are an aluminium plate, so therefore they will bend. But yes, if you kept in the packet, kept to one side, they should be absolutely fine.
Okay. And what would you say is the best filler to use with the patches?
The best filler all depends on what you're doing, really. So if you've only got one patch to fill, then I would use a quick setting compound like Easy Fill 20. But you know within half an hour you're going to be doing another coat, and they will need 2 coats to cover them. But then again, if you've got a lot of repairs to do, you may well be wanting to use a ready mix filler because you've got lots of time. So equally, it can be a powder product or a ready mix product. It really is down to your own sort of preference.
Okay. And how do you ensure they look as close to flawless on the wall?
The key to that really is about feathering out. If you saw in the video there how we talk about we go beyond the edge of the patch by at least 2 inches, and then the key then is on the second coat is to go beyond that by at least 2 inches again. Now you probably saw in the video that I went well beyond 2 inches, and the further that you feather out, the more hidden they become. And we've had instances where people don't believe that we filled in sort of holes and cracks and what have you with those patches. So it's all about feathering out.
Okay. And how long would they last? How long would a repair like that last?
Again, it depends. Hopefully, with no more damage to it, then it's there for life. Obviously, as long as the product stays in the condition that you leave it, it will be absolutely fine.
Okay. How long does it take for it all to set, Ted?
So, if we're talking about a powdered product, which is chemically setting, then when we talk about Easy Fill 20, that has a working time of around about 20 odd minutes, but it's chemically set within 30 minutes. Now, there's a difference between setting and it being dry, because the material could chemically set, but it would still retain some moisture. So once it's chemically set, it's not going to shrink or do anything else. All that needs to happen then is the moisture just needs to be drawn out. So if you're in a warmer climate, it's going to be drawn out quicker than what it would be in a cold winter month. So.
Okay. And how are they sold? Are they in singles or in packs? How would I buy
they're
them?
sold in packs, and there's 12 in a pack. So you get 2 of the 50 ml, the 2 small ones. You then get 5 100 by 100 millimeters, and then you get 5 150 by 150. So the small ones will do a very small hole. The medium ones will do like a light switch or a single socket, and then the large ones will do a double socket or obviously a larger hole.
Okay. And going on to the fillers that we saw in the demonstration, what's the difference between the Easy Fill and the Easy Filler?
So Easy Fill is a powdered product and therefore chemically set, whereas an Easy Filler is a ready mixed material, and the way that hardens is by evaporation. So there will be moisture in that product, and it will only sort of come out by evaporation. So again, this warmer atmosphere will make it dry quicker than obviously if it was cold and damp. So the key difference is powdered ones tend to be setting, ready mix ones are air drying, and therefore will take longer to dry.
Okay. We've got a question from Mark who's asking, are there any plans to sell the packs of individual sizes, you know, with the plasterboard patches?
That I don't know, I'm afraid. Again, I'm mere technical. I'll certainly take that back to the marketing team and see if they do have plans for that, because at I think it's a reasonable request for that, because whilst you get 12 in a pack, obviously it may take some time to use all 12. But the key thing about having a pack of 12 really is they're a great thing to have in the back of the van. You know, they're almost like an emergency plaster in effect.
Okay. What do you mean by 20-minute working time? And is that the same as the setting time?
No, not quite. So working time, when we talk about working time, we're talking about the time it stays pliable on the knife, usable on the knife. So you're able to spread the product. What happens with easy fill products is they have what we call a cheesy set. So for instance, easy fill 20, around about 20, 25 minutes, it then starts to thicken a little bit and becomes a lot stiffer and harder to use. And it's at that point then that you stop using it, clear out the bucket, and then remix it all.
Okay. And which is, oh, I think we covered that one. I was going to say which is better to use with the patches, but we said a few times the easy filler, the easy fill 20 is.
Yes, that's my preference, but yeah, you know, you're not beholden to that. And some guys I know will actually do the first coat with easy fill 20, and because it sets, it's a really hard solid product, so it keeps the patch in its place. And then they'll finish with a ready mix product, like an easy fill. So yeah, you can use a combination, but only one way round. So you only apply ready mix product on top of a setting product. You don't do it the other way around.
Right. And do you get shrinkage with the fillers?
With fill, you get a lot less shrinkage. Obviously, it depends on how big a hole you're filling. If you're just covering the patches, you get very, very minimal shrinkage. You will get a little bit more with a ready mix product, just because they take a lot longer to dry and moisture come out a lot longer. But equally, they're both as good as in personal preference.
Okay. And when would I use the powder and when would I use the ready mix filler?
I would generally say powder is used when you've got fewer jobs to do, so you're just doing a little bit of snagging. Depends on the powder there. You can use a longer setting product if you've got a lot more work to do. But like I say, normally if you've got a ready mix filler, you've got a lot of work to do, so therefore it's worth doing patches with the ready mix filler because you've got other work that you can catch up with.
Okay. There's a note in the comments just saying, just on the earlier question, marketing are looking at smaller packs and they're likely to be sometime in 2021. So
Excellent.
there you go. Do we have any more questions from anyone else? I'm just thinking, can I use other easy fill versions with the patches? So sort of easy fill 60 and the 45, would they work?
Most definitely. All they are, they're a variant of easy fill 20. So within that range, we have a 20, 45, and 60. So it gives you a full range of the amount of work.
And I know you've got 3 products in the easy fillers range. Would the light and the easy filler finish, would they work with the patches?
The easy filler finish would work with the patches. The light one is a little bit different. The light one is generally been formulated so it will fill a deeper hole all in one go, whereas the easy filler and the easy filler finish are manufactured so they can be spreadable and basically can cover the patch, but I wouldn't use the light.
Okay. And can you use any of these for external work, these filler products?
Generally, we say no, because it's the powdered easy fill is a gypsum-based product, whilst the ready-mix products, obviously, again, are made up by lightweight fillers and what have you, which can be broken down by rain and water and such.
Okay. And what other products have you got in your range, Ted?
In terms of fillers?
Yes.
We have all of those powdered products in the easy fill range. So we have really convenient 5x1, which is a small sachet, 1 kilo sachet, 5 of those in a pack. That's also sold singular. Now that's a kilo bag, so it makes it really convenient. Obviously, just to stick the sachet and then obviously mix, and then there's enough to do plenty of patches. And then obviously, like I say, we have the easy fill range, which is the 3 different sort of setting times, and then we have the 3 ready mixed fillers. Again, each one of those fillers does its own specific job, and as you saw on the video there, we generally say easy filler tends to be used for general repair, small hairline cracks, medium-sized cracks. If you're looking to do an entire wall and rather fill every single crack, we've got a product called Easy Filler Finish, which you can spread over the entire surface. And once that's dry, then you're able to sand back and leave that nice and smooth. And then obviously that can be painted. And then likewise, we have the Easy Filler Light, which generally is for deeper holes, but also can be used in hairline cracks. And because of its lightweight nature, it doesn't shrink. It's like a one coat sort of hit, if you like. So you just fill the hole once, and let it dry, and obviously it can be paintable.
Okay, I think we've come to the end of our questions for today, unless there's any from our audience. Thank you for joining me, Ted. It's been a really informative session. I hope you've all got something out of the session, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Ted.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.